Welcome back to another video, guys. Today at Lark Funding, and every day we are always looking for some of the very best traders. And today we are going to learn firsthand, and we're going to react to one of the best traders out there. No, unfortunately, he is not a Lark trader, but he made a video about how he became the #1 trader at FTMO. We look up to FTMO. They are a behemoth in the industry. Competition makes everyone better at the end of the day. So today we're going to be reacting to this video and seeing exactly how much money he made and how he did it. Let's get into it.
Hi, my name is Bernd and I made over $170,000 in the past 5 months trading with FTMO.
That is absolutely insane. $170,000 in just 5 months. I think the average or the median income right now in the US is like $32,000. So $170,000 in just a few months. Insane.
In this video, I want to talk about how I became the #1 trader for the biggest Forex prop trading firm in the world. In fact, I was not only #1 trader on the global leaderboard in 1 month, actually I was #1 in November, December and January. Just FYI.
That's absolutely incredible. And honestly, I wish there was more videos like this. If more influencers came out after showing up on these leaderboards, we would actually have more evidence that they're 100% legit and they know what they're doing. Not just ending up on the leaderboard once, but many times like this. Absolutely insane.
The global leaderboard resets after each payout. Consequently, you have to climb up the ranks every single month. Before I jump into explaining my 2-step mechanical process to find trade setups based on a trade I took in my FTMO account, I want to philosophize about the mindset of a professional trader. Because ultimately, both variables, strategy and mindset, go hand in hand. When we discuss mindset, I don't want to focus on greed and fear now. Every one of you heard that so many times. I want to focus on the mindset of running a trading business. Trading is a business.
I like what he said right there of running a trading business. I think the traders that take trading, that adopt the mindset that trading is a business, they do much better than traders that obviously think it's, a get-rich-quick scheme, or they just don't have that business mindset. I think it makes a huge difference.
A profession, in fact, like any other profession in the world. But as a trader, you are your only employee, the only variable in the equation. Consequently, you're an entrepreneur. You're the owner of your business, a trading business. If you just start off trading with a small account, then you're running a startup. Nevertheless, it's a business. So you have to apply all the aspects of running a conventional business in your trading business / startup to make it successful in the long run. But enough about mindset. We will definitely pick it up in another video. Let's focus on the charts and look into a trade I took with my FTMO account. Let's jump into the chart.
This trade here, a buy on Apple. Oh, he's trading stocks. That's interesting. I didn't expect him to be trading stocks. I think the lot size there is 135. We'll have to see the account size. 5 days, 1 hour, he held it, I think. Okay, he's going to break it down, but that's interesting. Profit of $18,000.
All right, so today I want to show you how I trade stocks. In this case, obviously CFD stocks in my prop trading account. In my example, I traded Apple. I entered Apple on the 13th of October and closed it on the 18th of October. I held it over the weekend, so the active...
Oh, he held it way more. 30th of October? No, I missed that.
Trading day holding period was roughly 3.5 days, and I made $18,000 on this Apple trade. Now, if you look at my charts, you see 2 different markets on my screen. To the left, top and bottom left, NASDAQ futures, and to the right, top and...
This guy has an absolutely insane background. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that. I don't know where that is. Could be Dubai, but it looks like a major city with a very nice view.
Bottom right, you see Apple. Why? Because we have to use multi-asset correlations. Stocks, especially heavy-weighted NASDAQ stock like Apple, affect the indices, and also the equity indices affect the stocks. So bottom line, analysis-wise, when we trade stocks, the particular index here, the NASDAQ, they has to be sync with Apple. All right, so let's start with my...
Absolutely love this. Shout out to the FX Cartel. No affiliation whatsoever, but their course really transformed my trading, and Seb does a great job of explaining the importance of looking at correlations. It's 100% this. You're not just trading a single asset, you need to see the correlations, and if they're aligned, if they're not aligned, it's a red flag, maybe don't take the trade, and that's exactly that. So really cool to see such a successful trader doing exactly that.
Step 1 of the analysis process, and we look here at our fundamental proprietary forecasting tools to see whether we're going to be bullish, bearish, or neutral on Apple. All right, so let me do full screen. Apple, you see here, we start with our seasonal forecasting tool. You see here, so what I'm doing, as I said, I entered on the 13th. I removed the future candles, so we kind of pretend that today is 1 day before I entered the trade. This was a set and forget trade, obviously, as well. So I set and placed it in advance and I let it play out. So here is, we pretend today is the 12th.
That's, if you take nothing else away from this video, I feel like that's gold. Such a successful trader, so nonchalantly saying, set and forget trade. Said it, didn't even think about it, walked away. That is the key.
As I said, 1 day before we entered the trade. And what we see here, right, in terms of forecasting, it's forecasting that Apple is going to go higher, right, for a couple of days before it kind of first goes a little bit sideways, then down, and then higher again. So it's our forecasting tool. It's anticipating that Apple from here, right, you see here, it's a little bit of zigzag, so it might go a little bit further down, but then it will go higher. All right. So the forecasting tool is telling us price is going to go higher. Now this is on Apple.
That's a cool tool. I have no idea exactly what it is, but maybe it's worth looking into. It seems interesting.
That Apple and NASDAQ should be sync. So now if we look at NASDAQ and look at our forecasting model here, full screen, we see also here, it's actually, we see here down here, look at this, we see that there's a bottom in place and we're gonna go higher until, well, also a couple of days as it looks like. You see here, couple of days here, and then we maybe go a little bit lower again, but then we have the bottom of all bottoms in place, right? And then we're just gonna go higher from here. All right, so also here you see on the NASDAQ, it's actually going to be a bottom. So as I said, we have to be sync, and our forecasting model here, our seasonal forecasting model, is showing us, yes, we are sync. All right, now this is only one of our proprietary forecasting tools. As you know, we have also a valuation model.
Proprietary forecasting tool, so maybe it's something that he made himself. Again, no idea, worth looking into. I don't know if that's just a public tool like an RSI or a MACD that you can grab and pull on the charts, or if it's something that's a little bit more proprietary, as he said.
And let's look at our valuation model here versus the treasury bonds, which is really, really important for stocks and equity indices. And what we see here, so now I removed this line. As I said, we are pretending today is the 12th, 1 day before I entered the trade. And look at this, we are undervalued, right? And undervaluation, as we remember from my previous video, if you haven't watched my previous YouTube video, we will put the link here in that video as well. Every time we are undervalued, you see here down here, undervalued, we get a nice move. Undervalued, look at this, what happens, we get a nice move. Undervalued here, we get a nice move. And so
he's doing multi-level analysis. It's almost like Inception, you know, he's finding multiple correlations, seeing if they're lining up to give him the green flag, the red flag if they're not correlated. It's, you know, he's trading Apple, but he's looking at the NASDAQ, he's looking at treasuries, he's looking at this indicator here to see, like, it's just multifaceted. It's not just, oh, we got a trend line, we're going to take a trade. He's looking for multiple levels of confirmation, which is, it's just really cool to see.
Sometimes we can even anticipate the bottom of all bottoms. Look at this, undervalued, and we're getting a nice move, right? And we are now undervalued again. So far very bullish, but again, we use multi-asset correlations to add even more probability in our favor. So let's look at the NASDAQ here as well. And you can already, I think, imagine that the NASDAQ is definitely not overvalued here. But look at this, we are close to undervalued. You see, it's coming down, and also here, when we are undervalued, you saw this on my previous video. Well, when we are undervalued on the NASDAQ, you can imagine what's going to happen. So, in terms of our proprietary forecasting tool here, the valuation model and our seasonal forecasting tool, they are speaking the same language on NASDAQ futures and on Apple, which is important. And I want to show you also here, we haven't talked about this yet, right? Our smart money index, where we see what the retail traders are doing and what the big banks, the smart money, the big banks and institutions are doing. We see here the blue line up here, which means we will talk about this tool more specific in another video, but basically the blue line represents the smart money, the big banks and institutions. So when they're up,
I just realized that his charts are basically naked. He's got no key level, support, resistance, trend lines, Fibonacci, nothing. He's really just looking at these correlations. That's not to say that he won't use other tools, but that's an interesting observation I just realized now.
Up here, they're in an extreme, they're extremely bullish. And when the red line represents the retail trader who usually lose money, right? So, and when they're down here, they're bearish, right? So we want to trade against the retail traders and with the smart money, with the banks and institutions. So this is a little nugget. This is the icing on the cake here. So they're also in line here on the NASDAQ. So you see, step one of the very objective analysis process is going through our proprietary forecasting tools and see whether we're going to be bullish, bearish or neutral. So we are definitely not bearish on Apple, and we are definitely not neutral, so we are bullish. Perfect. So since we are bullish, now we can go to step two and time the market, here in this case with supply and demand.
That's only step two. So all of that was just step one. So again, I feel like it would be impossible for him to just jump into a quick trade. There's so many levels of analysis that are taking place here. There's levels to this game. You know, this guy's the #1 trader at FTMO, massive payouts. And it goes to show, I feel like that's one filter. That's one way to not just take B- trades, to take silly setups, because this process is so intense.
Right. So if I look at Apple daily, I want to show you here, we are coming down in a very nice drop base rally, right? Super high quality. And what is even better, if I look at the weekly chart, this is covered, right, by a weekly rally base rally, actually an overlapping drop base rally followed by a rally base rally, so level on top of level. So what we call here, so the daily is covered by the weekly, so it's basically what we call it, the big brother principle, big brother small brother principle rule is met. So even better here on Apple, right?
Big brother principle, never heard of that. Pretty interesting, you know. Yeah, that's different.
So, and also supply and demand wise, just quickly, we should be sync with the NASDAQ. And if we look at the NASDAQ daily, also here we're coming into a nice supply demand zone in a drop base rally. And guess what? Also here, if I look at the weekly chart, you see here in a fresh here rally base rally, we are just approaching it. Perfect, right? As we saw also, perfect seasonal low. Look at this, how our tool is anticipating that. It's amazing. And now, well, we have also our step 2 analysis sync. Absolutely perfect, right? High probability trade setup here on Apple. Now, as we said, full screen. 1 day later.
It's also worth noting that he's trading an incredibly high time frame. I don't want to, say something inaccurate, but I think the lowest time frame that I've seen him go on was the daily. Maybe he's gone on something lower, but he's looking at the daily charts weekly for confirmation. He's really trading those high time frames. So he's probably not getting that many setups, but the setups are such good quality. It's really, really important to note. We see so many traders trying to trade the 1 minute charts, you know, get in and out of 20 trades in a day. But this is just pure quality, these high time frames, not many setups, but the setups that you do get are just a fantastic quality with much higher probability.
Let's add the candle. So when the trade was triggered here on the 13th, look at this, it came deep into the demand zone, right? It opened down here, deep into the demand zone, but still in the demand zone. And now let's check the candles till the 18th. And you see also here, price nicely moved higher, right? So this was the Apple trade. Basically, you see the only thing that you had to do during that particular time, no managing, no watching, only putting your stop loss to break even at some point of time, and that's it.
Set and forget. I absolutely love it. It makes trading so much easier, so much less stressful. You don't have to deal with your emotions. Awesome to see.
So this is how a professional trading business operates. Clearly defined objective rules to time the market with supply and demand, a well-defined process in place to find high probability trade setups with low risk and high reward. And like any other business, I use proper risk and money management tools to manage my trade setup. And the best part, this was a set and forget and get a live setup where I made $18,000 in 5 days only. The only thing I had to do during those 5
and get a live setup. I absolutely love that. Awesome video. I'm so glad that he made it. We'll put a link down in the description below for this video. Go subscribe. I'm sure there's tons of value on this channel. And this video for me is my first time watching it, just further reiterates the fact or the idea that the very best traders aren't trading these silly setups. It's about quality over quantity. It's about multiple levels of analysis, combining fundamentals, cross-examination, all that stuff. This was awesome to see, and how emotions are not dictating his trading decisions. If you made it this far, we appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.